Hello, Swivelheads. The question of the day is, will the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant blow today? In fact, there's charges and countercharges coming from both Ukraine and Russia, each one claiming the other is going to cause a detonation at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant on this very day in the nighttime hours there in Ukraine. So when it gets nighttime, it's daytime there at the moment, although it's nighttime right here. This is Greg Allison with Green Greg's coming to you at 0:36 hours, 5 July. That is 1:36 a.m. for those civilians amongst you. It's in the wee hours here. But supposedly in less than 24 hours, much less than that, really, because it's going to be nighttime for too long over in Ukraine, something might happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't say, oh, Greg, you're wrong. You're always wrong. I didn't say this is going to happen. I said it may well happen because both sides are accusing each other, saying they're going to do it today. So that leaves the ante way up in the atmosphere, guys. So the Ukrainians have been full court press for about 2 weeks on this, claiming that they had seen the Russian plans and they were already approved. We never saw them, and that they were going to blow the plant, and claiming they put explosives on the top of the plant. And the Russians have counterclaimed that the Ukrainians are going to attack the plant today with missiles and drop radioactive material. We're going to use dirty bomb missiles to create the radioactivity. As you know, Senators Richard Blumenthal and his wife, Lindsey Graham, came out before this stuff came down, claiming that, oh, if there's radiation from Zaporizhzhia, that's going to invoke Article 5. Well, that's not in the Senate's purview to do that. They're supposed to get some resolution out there to do this. So this definitely ups the ante and shows you what this side is thinking. I'm going to be talking a little bit more in another video about why it seems that the state of deep wants war so bad. And it seems to be the case. So where are we going with this? I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff here in a moment. But, you know, the big thing is both sides are charging that the other is going to do something today. That seems to make the probability that somebody's going to do something look rather on the higher end than not. Not saying it will happen, though. It could be this is just setting the stage for other game plays down the road because Ukraine's trying to pull NATO into this war. And of course, each side's got their own agendas. So who's the gain? Who's got the most to gain? Who's got the most to lose on this kind of maneuver? It really don't make a lot of sense overall. I mean, you can look at various logic aspects of it, but you know, rather than game, let's go to the news here. Then we'll game through it here in a little bit. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys. So happy belated 4th of July. I wanted to do a couple of I wanted to do 2 videos yesterday, midday and the evening. But I wound up working really late trying to finish up a hazard analysis. I worked on the 4th of July to dark. And just at the last minute, when I thought I had it ready to go and saved it and was about to email it to my powers that be, it was not in the directory. And I thought, what? I knew I saved it. And I went back and looked. You know, you're supposed to be going to Word and pull up the last file you opened. It wasn't there. Needless to say, I blew up before Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Holy guacamole smoke the moly. Well, it did save it in a different directory, but it didn't index it like it's supposed to. Holy guacamole smoke the moly. Yes, I exploded today. Woo! So there you go, guys. We did have a major detonation, and it was me. All right, let's get on with this stuff. Sorry about that. I thought that might entertain you a little bit. It was not entertaining to me earlier. I'll tell you that, guys. Holy smoke. Geez, so yes, we did have a detonation. It was none other than Green Greg's. I went supernova, like the star Beetlejuice is going to do one day. All righty, this is one of the things that's being cited as evidence that this is to take place. This is one of Russia's many mobile radioactive detection laboratories that apparently they've just deployed these into Ukraine areas, into the Donbass region, which is, you know, Luhansk and Donetsk and those oblasts that claimed that they were to be part of Russia, and that Russia claimed were now part of their territories, you might know. So this was senior, how do you say this? In Nerda, yeah, I can't even say that. in Hodar and Mariupol. Yeah, I don't speak Ukrainian, guys. So there it is, guys. This is one of them, and some people are claiming this as evidence that Russia's getting prepared to blow it. Supposedly, see, the Ukrainians said that the Russians would evacuate the areas today by the 5th, and indeed there have been evacuations in the areas around the plant. Now the Russians could claim it's because that Ukraine has said they were going to hit them. I'm going to open up the chat room here in a minute, guys. I'm going to try to get through a lot of this before I really go to it. So it's nuts, guys. Anyway, here is from Sputnik. Ukraine plans to hit Zaporizhzhia, so they spell it different. Plans to hit Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, NPP, with nuclear waste laden missile. This is according to their energy agencies. So this is right from one of the Ruski rags. And here's another Ruski rag. No, that's not a Ruski rag. This is one of from a nuclear industry thing. This article published today, it was like 20 hours ago, is the reference one. I just opened it a little bit ago. It was the last article I opened in the series. Says no weapons found at Zaporizhzhia as tensions mount. L.E. Wilbarger was just on earlier saying that they've got the video and photographic evidence of weapons being placed on top of the reactors. And I've heard someone else claim that those are not weapons, that they're actually defensive fighting positions, pillboxes, you know, like where you put a bang bang. So a lot of points and counterpoints and allegations and counter allegations are flying like crazy. So that may suggest that something is cooking. But in defense of those that say something is going to happen, that there are weapons there, in spite of this article, this is citing the IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi when he was there. But now that was a few days ago. So it could be that somebody could have put something in place since then. So even though this article is dated 4th of July, it does not mean that the content, the source content, is dated the 4th of July. It takes time sometimes for things to get through the news cycle. So I don't know what their time tag would actually be for the data they use, but we know that Grossi was there several days ago. And so it's not impossible that somebody could have mined it. So I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm trying not to take sides here. How many people we've got in the room here? 165, I guess not bad considering, you know, a lot of people probably are worn out tonight after having a big 4th of July. So we're in the wee hours. Yes, Clay, prepare. That is the whole message we're trying to get across here, is that things are crazy. And if you're not paying attention, what are you doing? So this is Russia today. Russian nuclear giant claims Ukraine attack on power plant imminent. So they're both saying this. And again, they're using this dirty nuclear device attack. So both sides are claiming, oh, that's the pools. This is the surface level. I've shown you this photograph from above, guys. That's interesting to see here. This is those pools that are spraying water. I'll show you this higher view. This is one of the cooling pools. It's got, according to Wikipedia, there's nuclear waste in these pools here. These are nuclear waste storage pools. And there should be some inside the building, not the containment building. Hey, Al Gore, how you doing, bud? Just knows as much money as has been dumped in Ukraine, you'd think that they could put a pump in the river. No kidding. Well, it's on the Russian side. The Russians have got to do it. Why haven't they done it? So that's my question. And oh yeah, the power feed. Yeah, the IAEA just comes and says, oh, the power feed's been restored and everything's looking better now. Now the suddenly just came back. No, it's been taken out again as of today. I'll show you that in a minute. So, oh yeah, here we are. I'm gonna show you those pools. Those pools are these right here. No, right here. These are those pools. This is a terrible focus picture. I can show it to you in Google Earth when we're done. Get a little better view. The cooling pools right here. And this is the nuclear power plants. And this is, well, I don't know that I hate to see the same language used twice. I've always called the cooling pool supposed to have the uranium, but they actually call this a cooling pool. But this is and they call this the reservoir, the lake, which is no longer there. That's the reservoir. This is the pool that they pull water from to cool all this stuff, the reactors and these pools out here. All right, so that's, yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've seen a good surface shot looking at these pools from this side. You could tell they had spray nozzles on them from looking above. That was pretty obvious, and that's kind of strange configuration. Was a horrible thing. You're right. Why are we so primitive? Because we're no different. Oh, Al Gore invented nuclear weapons. Okay, good to hear that, Al. Why don't you go over and de-invent it? So, yikes. All right, so let's go over here and look at this. Now, this update was dated the 4th of July, which to me is still today because I haven't been in bed. Actually, probably should be the 3rd of July for me. Update 170 IAEA General Director statement on the situation. Here's, they're talking about that power feed. Guys, you got to have power to run those backup generators, or at least to run the cooling pumps. So if you don't have the cooling pumps power to them, then you got to run the backup generators. There's on 10 days worth of diesel fuel in those backup generators. Hey, Jojo, how you doing? So that's what this is all about. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant sole remaining 750 kilovolt power line out of 4 available before the contact was disconnected at 01:21 local time today. It was not immediately known what had prompted the power cut or how long it would last. Who cut the power? All the power is on the Russian side of this, incidentally. So what is that all about? There is some backup line, but yeah. So the disconnection meant the ZNPP had to switch to its only available 330 kilovolt backup power line for offsite electricity that is required. Yeah, see, the nuclear power plants don't produce their own power to run themselves. I know that's hard for people to fathom, but they don't. None of them do. Nowhere in the world, because one, you actually have to have power to get one started up. They can't even start themselves. They have to have grid power to get started. We call that black start. And so the funny thing is that it's got a lot to do with load balancing and a lot of other things, but they actually don't run themselves. If you want power, you have to earn respect. There you go, Jojo. That's true. So if Russia is going to descend down into the Middle East later on in the scripture, it's not going to be destroyed there. Well, that don't mean you won't have something else in Damascus. So I don't know that this incident really fits scripture, or maybe it's the poison of the water. Maybe it's related to wormwood. Guys, look, I highly encourage you to get stocked up with seeds. This is one thing that where you can grow your own food in the long term. So check it out. Check my links that I always post here at Tree Leaf Market, guys. Give that a good check out. So, all right, let's see if I can go here. So here we are. Here's Zelensky talking about his projections. Oh yeah, they're going to attack it. Saying that Russian military has placed objects resembling explosives on the roofs of several of the units of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Like I said, I've seen somebody else say they're not explosives, they're pillboxes, which is, weapons. So you tell me, what are they? I'm not there. I can't tell you. I can't say one way or the other. Or if it was the Russian, I should have expanded that. It's not showing me the next article. Let me unexpand it. And down here, I believe it's still here. There was the Russian counterpoint. Hey, look here. There's Lee Wilbarger. It's Russia who wants to blow the ZNPP. Russian channels claim that tomorrow evening Ukraine will launch. Yeah, so that's that claim. Oops. So we got claims and counterclaims as to who's going to did it. Look, Roseanne Barr. Hey, Al Gore, do you know Roseanne Barr? She your buddy? Jesse calling tonight. Thanks for being in here. Sorry to come on here so late. I've had a heck of a day today. I worked late and got really frustrated trying to get it done, especially when I thought I lost my whole day's work. Man, I mean, I was banging at it, banging hard, and I thought I lost it all. Ooh-wee. I mean, I worked all day on a holiday, and I just blew up everything I did. Yikes. I mean, it's already dark. I worked on it all day, trying to get done. I wanted to get outside and do some videos, and I just couldn't get at it because I was on that keyboard. I was spanking the keyboard, trying to get those reports done. All right, guys, just some other war news here. 100% success for HIMARS destroy 4 Russian self-propelled howitzers. But look, guys, there's claims of advances and counter advances from both sides. Both sides are supposedly making advances. Ukrainians are not making fast advances because they got huge minefields to go through. It's making it really slow for them. And there's all those trenches and everything else. Thanks for being here, Jesse. Good to see you. All righty. Oops. Already got into national debt territory. Now let's get out of the war news. U.S. national debt spiked by $851 billion in 1 month. 1 month. We went up almost $1 trillion in 1 month. Flood of new debt coming. In Q3 to refill, I don't know what the DGA is, pay for raging deficits. Guys, we went up in debt nearly $1 trillion in 1 month. Let's look at some of these curves. See, I think this is one of the most accurate curves I've ever seen because the top end is called dead out the wazoo. This must be the most accurate curve we've ever seen on our debt spending or how we're going into debt. So we actually had a flat period here for a few years there. Oh yeah, who was president when we had this flat one? Well, there's a flat one, but it's not as big. Oh, interesting. Well, see the rate here. You see the slope is how fast you're going in debt. That's a big slope. Got a little staper here when the bug broke out under the T-man. But look, that's where the T-man's reign ended, and right about here is where B-man got sworn in. And look what happened. Ooh, like one of my rockets was being launched, straight up almost. That was all that money they threw out. And then it slowed down a little bit. But look, that whole curve is much steeper than this one. The rate of debt acceleration is way up. And then we had a little flats, but then we made it, more than made it for those little bitty flat areas with nearly straight up again. Then it slowed down a little bit, but not to this level. And then apparently we had this caused the debt ceiling. And now, boing, right back up. Immigrants will oppose us. Yeah, we're going to have some issues, guys. We got some issues coming at us. We'll talk about all that in a little bit. We'll talk about the 4th of July a little bit, not as much as I wanted to originally. You know, I've always done a 4th of July special program talking about freedom and things like that. I really had some stuff in mind to do today, and I just didn't happen because I wasn't working all day. So, so let's paint this in comparison. And also, additionally, we got a lot of the regional banks are in trouble. U.S. banking giants, or banking giants here. $205 billion in unrealized losses sitting on the balance sheets. This is for commercial real estate, basically, being overpriced and having issues that nobody's working, not as many people working in the office now. It's office space. It's no longer in as demand as it was. A lot of people going back to office. A lot of stuff just wasn't paid for. All right, so if you look over here, here's the U.S. debt clock. It is ticking up fast. See, every one of you that's a taxpayer now owes $250,000 plus 1,478. Does that make you feel just great? 96. Hey, thank you there, Tim. Tim Satori says, Greg, I heard you and all your mods and followers are what? 7% commie Russia supporters. We're not commie over here. Forget that, buddy. You get that at? I'm just talking middle of the road here. Russia's not commie, actually. China is. Venezuela. They do. They are in league with China and Venezuela, but mainly because we drove them there. But thanks for the super chat. All right, let's see where we go. Tim, you really think that we're commie supporters? What do you think? Come on, tell us some more, Tim. Come back in here and say some more. There are a lot of people on this channel that favor Russia. I am taking it middle of the road. A lot of the viewers favor Russia, though. But you got to think that's pretty true across the conservative spectrum. If you poll conservatives, you're going to find that. And you just look at what, and it comes from things like, you know, look what Tucker Carlson was saying. I'm trying to be middle of the road here. Washington Post bemoans how the 4th of July is the most polluted day of the year because of fireworks. The Washington Compost. Y'all, let me rephrase that. The Washington Compost thinks the 4th of July is terrible. It's terrible because they shoot fireworks because they got all this nasty stuff. It's polluted. What do y'all think, guys? Danged old commies. Yeah, you're right. I'll be a witch. Cuba's too close with China. They are. And they are communist. And so is Venezuela. Venezuela is communist now. But look, everybody's always trying to get out of the commie countries, guys. New Days. Hey, New Days. So Tim, you should give Greg a $20 super chat for that insult. All right, Tim is responding. Aren't you guys give Greg some money? He's my friend. Oh, yeah, Tim's actually bought worms from me. Yeah, he just picking. Hey, I support freedom of speech. All right, guys, now where's some good news? Oh, yeah, I meant to open a couple other tabs I didn't open. There's some good news. So a lot of you think that everything's defeated. We can't win. All's a loss. Is a big state just going to run us over? No, you can fight back, and we're having progress on certain fronts. Thanks a lot to judges and the fact that we got a Congress that no longer goes along with administration, at least in the House of Representatives, because the other parties got the majority. So it ain't everything that Mr. B down here is saying. He's not getting his way as fully as he'd like to, and they're being investigated. They're now investigating Hunter and a bunch of other stuff. Oh yeah, did y'all hear about the white powder they found in the White House? Was it? Did they find some of Hunter's tracks? Did the hunter leave a trail? I don't know, guys. Not saying that's the case, but who knows? The Watchman, the nation's drinker, what? There's a heart there. I can't read it. Some wine, maddening wine. Nation's drinker, maddening wine. Okay. Oh yeah. You're talking about like yeah. Drunk with wine of saints. The harlot sitting on the beast, the red beast. The book of Revelations. I believe that's what you're referring to, right, the Watchman? All right. Judge says the U.S. government appears to have acted like an Orwellian minister of truth during the what? Nah. And hey, guess what? Federal judge limits Biden officials' contacts with social media sites because they've been going in and telling them what they had to ban. You and have been controlling campaigns and stuff like that. I mean, you know, what happened to our First Amendment, freedom of speech, because they've been going to social media and say, oh, you can't let them say this, you can't let them say that. This, you know, you got to consider this fact check not true because it's politically on the other side of the spectrum. A federal judge in Louisiana on Tuesday restricted the Biden administration from communicating social media platforms. Broad swaths of content. Yes, you know, they were taking hits at things that people were saying that didn't fit the narrative of a certain party and certain agencies which seem to like that narrative. I'll talk more about that in the future. I may be going too far here. I may be getting in trouble now on here. And look, disinformation researchers lament chilling U.S. legal campaign. Oh, all these fact checkers, lying fact checkers who always get it wrong. but they get you shut down, and then, a year later it turns out that, you were right and they were wrong. What's their batting percentage? It's pretty darn low. Oh, is that where it came from, the Watchman? Yeah, big fella, I ain't trusting the lamestream media. Even Fox is falling into it. Here is a Fox article. Young people skip controversial 4th of July. Oh, America's just such a terrible country. You know what, guys? Let's stop sharing for a minute. We're gonna come back to share a minute. Let's just chat a minute. This is what I want. That's total. Wow. Guys, this is what happens when you let the state raise your kids. This is what happens when we give the state the job of raising our kids. And the state is slanted real heavily on one side of the spectrum. That's what happens when you take God out of our society. That's what happens when, it's a traversity. They teach America's the worst country that ever existed, and people that look like me are the worst things ever walked. Oh yeah, there's an article out where some lady saying that we're all serial bangers. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. That is what you call CRT. That's not the case. So the problem is a lot of these kids have been indoctrinated. It starts in like middle school now with what agenda is going on, the so-called shows that they're putting on, all that stuff. They're starting this in middle school, this indoctrination. Starts too early. These kids get sucked into it eventually because they keep hearing the same thing over and over and over. It's just like in the story, it's like in the Bible, the story of Joseph. His brothers, sold him into slavery and went back and told her dad that they alienated him. And they told that story so many times that when they actually seen him in Egypt, many years later as a grown man, they were shocked because they got the idea in their heads that they alienated him. They told the story so many times, their own lie, they started to believe it. Am I right or wrong on that, the Watchman? Maybe I'm a little bit off, but that's the way I recall it. So just look what they're doing to give a day for the veterans. Oh yeah, we got veterans, homeless veterans in this country, and yet we're paying a huge amount of money to all these people coming across our border. Give them a place to stay. Oh yeah, I'll talk more about that in the future. We'll work that up some. But the people that are putting them up are getting a whole lot of moolah to house those people. But a lot of our veterans are living out under a bridge. Where's the justice? But anyway, so 4th of July. This was a date. Hey, Samuel Turner. I hate to say, but America is more trouble than ever before. Future looks bleak. That's why we got to work on it, guys. At this point, Greg and Focus, thanks for all you do. That's why we got to work. That's why I'm talking about this, because, guys, the good stuff's got to start somewhere. And with great knowledge comes great responsibility. You've got the knowledge and you got the responsibility. Just talk to kids, talk to them, start trying to give them counterpoints, and say, well, if this is true, how come this? How come that? Question them, because they've been getting such a one-sided blinders on worldview that it's about that wide. And they think all the truth is right here, because that's what they've been indoctrinated to. So talk to them, question them. Kindergarten children. Oh, they're going to kindergarten with that? I was trying not to write. I don't know. Why don't you delete that comment, New Days? I don't know if that being in our chat might get us in trouble on the platform. Seems to me they are pitting people against each other. Oh, yeah, the Watchmen, they are. Absolutely. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. They are pitting us against each other. That's why we got so much race tension today. There's no need for that. There's no need for it. They pit us against each other. They play us against each other. Dragon X69, kids are smart. They are smart, but they need some help. And so that's why we need to talk with them, because they're not getting adult supervision. Look, what's happening in our families? Our families have disintegrated. and not just a nuclear family. There's no extended family anymore. Used to, kids had the both parents to go to give them support and nurturing and give them a sense of stability. But they also had the grandparents, they had the aunts, they had the uncles, and they had the cousins as friends and brothers and sisters. They had a huge support network. Today it's woof, it's gone. What's a family today? It's like one parent and one or two kids in a house, and the parent is working just to try to make money to keep the house and put food on the table, and the kid is thrown to the dogs. The kid's thrown out to the school system to raise them, and when they come home, the only place they got to turn is really other hoodlums usually. The gangs are always accepting of anybody. Yeah, just scary, scary. The Supreme Court action was good, but it was done on purpose to create division. Oh, yeah, it might be. So guys, we still have power. Well, as long as we still got to vote, these politicians, you know, politics, many ticks, right? The politicians still need to vote. Now they think that they can get them now, as long as they got campaign money and buy enough advertising. Those poor dumb sheeple will always vote for them. You know, whoever advertises the most wins the election. Because if you see them both, this hypnotic effect. I see him. I see him. I'm gonna vote for him. There he is. I know who he is. I see him all the time. He's a good guy because his commercials tell me so. Yeah. That's kind of how they are. So what we got to do is talk to people. And listen, that's why I started Freedom Restoration Foundation.org. I'm going to pull it up here while I'm still not in the chat room here. Check it out in a minute. And we'll pull up our Survival Tribe Network. So what you need to do, guys, is talk to the kids and teach them, you know, who is America? They hate America. America's not the government. The government's supposed to represent us. Does it really? You tell me. That's not America. America is you. It's me. It's the neighbor, the guy down the street, the person down the road, over the hill and across the country. America is the people. If you truly hate the people, then maybe you got some more heavy indoctrination. You know, we've got really good people in this country. And I've told y'all a zillion times on this channel, there's good people in every country, every village, every hamlet, every race, color, and creed. It's the governments and the powers that be that stir us up against each other to create their own power. They do it through division. And the Watchman is pointing that out. And I've said this so many times on here that it's not funny, but that's the case. So what we got to do is start trying to talk to the kids and waking them up. Fowler says, thank you for sharing the news. Raised by a Vietnam veteran, retired at 83, like yourself, and stepdad. I was raised by a World War II veteran. My dad fought in World War II, and his dad fought in World War I. Kamala is on camera saying, oh, really? Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, this is regular, but ours what? Yeah. So that's just, you know, I don't know. The narrative is off the charts. And also most of your writers' narrative is off the charts of your lamestream news media. So let's go back in here and let's hit some share again. Let's look at some of this. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, hey, if you hadn't seen it, highly encourage you to check out Shop C60 Purple, C60.com. I'll bring that up next. Then we'll go over to the other one. It'll come up. ShopC60.com, because this is I don't get any kickback from this other than they send me stuff, which is good enough. Use Greg10 to get a 10% discount. This is the best antioxidant. Carbon C60 molecule is unbelievable. It has untold health benefits. Reportedly, I'm not a medical doctor. I must always tell you those kind of disclaimers, or the free speech police will come throw me in the hoose gal. So check it out here. Let's do a share real quick. Oh yeah, I got these cherry tarts. You know, that's what I'm gonna eat something late at night. These are really powerful. They're strong. Woo! Dark tart. So actually, the only time I ate those is when I'm doing a video. Oh my gosh. I usually take the oil otherwise. It's interesting. Check it out, guys. All right, let me do a share. Wow. All right. Those things, that stuff is good for you. Some safer fashion, but I can't tell you too much of the AMA will come here. Got me thrown in the brig. The share screen again. All right, good though. That's my 4th of July dessert. To be honest, that's the best thing I've had all day. Today was kind of a rough day for me. Or the 4th of July was. There it is, C60 purple fire. You can get the avocado oil or the coconut oil. Check out both here. I also got cinnamon in the eyedropper. Cinnamon. I just like to say cinnamon because that's how the minions said it, right? Anyway, let's go back over here and look what's happening. Oh yeah, I want to go over here first. Ding, 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 ding. Guys, I created this website. I put a lot of money in maintaining this website. I don't have, in terms of just keeping it online and all that, because I have to pay for about 3 different things to keep this thing up. But what I need is a webmaster. I need somebody to come forward and volunteer as a webmaster and join their group for that. It don't cost any money to be in a Freedom Restoration Foundation, but I need some help because we need to update these alerts because these are all from 2022. And it's not hard, but these alerts are cool. Let's give you a lot of information. It's easy to do. It just takes a little time, which is something I'm not had any of lately. I don't have any time to do anything. I didn't mean to totally get out of it. Let's go over. What you need to do is go over what still works. Is go here and click on the Action Center. Scroll down past the alerts. And here's the part. Make your voices count. National bill tracking, state bill tracking, tracks bills are in the state, or you're in your state or in the federal government. You can look up your state legislators, find out who your representative in Congress is, who your senator is. There's a switchboard number you can call here to get you both the Senate or the House, 1 for Senate, 2 for the House. You can press the button or say the number, 202-224-3121. It's been that same number for decades. I know I've called that number many a times. I used to be a space policy guy. It's easy to do. Don't take you long. It's easy to take action with stuff, but it counts for every person that contacts a Congress critter. There figures at least 100 of them out there that believe the same thing. So that's why you can have weight, you can have impact. And we've done things that's had impact. I've had major impact on legislation. Stormwatch, hello, Greg. So good to see you. I tried watching some of Lee's coverage earlier. He gotten really nasty toward a lot of people. Make comment in the stream there. Yeah, I try to. Well, I believe. Look, what is this all about? Good point here, guys. What is this organization all about? Freedoms. It's the 4th of July. Freedoms are important today, right? It's a good time to talk about this. Freedoms. Yeah, the right to have nugs. Have you hugged your nug today? Happiness is a warm nug. Freedom of speech. Now, how could I be for freedom of speech and tell you guys to shut up? Just answer me that. How can I be for freedom of speech and tell you guys to shut up because you have an opinion? I may not agree with your opinion, but you're entitled to your opinion. That don't mean you're right. But that's what we're about here, guys. I am about freedom more than anything. Now, the real idea behind freedom is that people with different ideas ought to be able to have good level-headed discussion and debate and work out really where things stand. Now, people on a certain side of the spectrum, on the woke end today, they want to shut all discussion down if it's not 100% in alignment with what they do. And that's kind of the stuff that the administration was accused of doing by the judge and also by Twitter. Now that Elon took over, he had the evidence for this, show how they went in and tried to change the discourse of public discussion, shut down everybody who had a different political viewpoint, which is totally out of bounds for what the government should be doing. Anyway, guys, another thing, with all the stuff going on in the world, with all the threats of World War III, and even the sun, which you should see the video I posted this morning. I recorded it last night, posted this morning. Actually, I think I did record it this morning. I told you, it's like, yeah, I was recording it 24 hours ago. Posted it, the sun video on the solar activities. So this is the Survival Tribe Network. I started the Survival Tribe movement over here, but Wise Owl, I asked her to coordinate. You know, I had a spreadsheet. I was asking her to coordinate our people wanting to join, and she just found the spreadsheet hard to use. So she came up with this website, and she paid for it out of her own pocket. She paid a pretty penny for this. Guys, we might not have much time. For all we know, Zaporizhzhia may go off today. If it does, we may find ourselves in war, NATO engagement with Russia directly, and that could lead to nuclear war. Now, I'm not going to say it's all going to be instantaneous. Sometimes there's delays and things build up and escalate over time. What would be the ladder of escalation? How fast would it be? I don't know. Let's hope it don't go there at all. So maybe that's why you need to come over here and utilize. Oh, shoot, it just closed. I hate this stupid thing. I go in here trying to open something and it closes. Jeez. Anyway, go to the Freedom Restoration Foundation and go down to that action center and call your Congress cutter and say, hey, I don't want no war. If you don't support where some of the money is going, tell them. Say, quit it, stop it if you don't agree with it. So there you are, guys. So, you know, so y'all tell me, where should our money go? You tell me. So there you are, guys. Let's look at a couple other things real quick. Where did I leave off at? There's that. There's that. Okay, right here. Oh yeah, we talked about the kids. All right, earthquakes. The United States is fairly quiet. Where is this at? It's in Arkansas. Nevada. We've seen a lot of them in Mena, Nevada. What's going on? And right here in the San Diego Plate, man, right here in this very tip, that's a real hot point for earthquakes right here. Uh-oh. It's pretty darn close to Seattle there. Maple Valley, Washington, 2.8. Of course, Puerto Rico is always rocking. It don't look as bad as it does sometimes, though. Let's back up. Queen. Aleutian Islands. Yeah, I always got stuff on Aleutian Islands. Hawaii is always quaking. A couple of quakes up here, nothing big though. Southern Alaska. You know, I hate when it says Southern. All of this is Southern Alaska. Everything South Alaska range, Aleutians, and Southern Alaska is bigger than the United States almost. An area covered. So saying Southern Alaska is like saying somewhere on planet Earth, somewhere in North America. Holy smoke. I mean, Southern Alaska stretches from here, around here, and down here. It's like going across the whole United States. Jeez. All right. Yeah, I guess they have a hard time. Well, at least there you got a community named. So I don't know. All right, USGS, you're supposed to be the map makers. You ought to be able to do better than that. Now, here's the biggest earthquake I've seen. Like this, guys. So 5.2. This area and here and up in here and right in here have been super active. This whole area has been super active. Big ones. What's that, about 4.8, 4.5. .9. Now this one's not on a plate at all. I guess it's a rift zone where Madagascar is separated from Africa. 4.8. Nothing in Turkey for a change. Well, Turkey is getting her rest. All right, guys. Windy. Almost 3 o'clock. We're probably in. If we must give money, then it should go towards the betterment of mankind. No homelessness, no hunger, less bombs, more homes. There you go. Aren't we getting hit by a small semi in the next couple of days? We just got hit by one. Yeah, we had one that took out our radio in the western part of the United States and out over the Pacific. Well, the Midwest, not Midwest yet, the Plains, Eastern Plains states, the Corn Belt is getting some good, much needed rain right now. Of course, it's a lot of rain for the wee hours. What's it going to look like at 5 o'clock tomorrow? Could be real stormy that weekend. Let's see. So let's step this forward. Go forward, 5 a.m. Wednesday, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Let's watch where this goes. And it ain't looking too bad, 2 p.m. After 2, the things start kicking up. 5 to 8 right there, 5 to 10. I don't look too bad. Northwest Illinois. Oh, North Carolina gets a lot. All right, just a lot of summertime type activity. Nothing. Whoa, that was some interesting stuff there in Kansas there. All right, we'll back her on up. Now we're back into current conditions, I think. All right. Got anybody from overseas in here tonight? Anybody from Australia, New Zealand, England, Canada? Where folks from? We got Arnold in the house from Alberta. Houghton is 64. Kind of warm up there. Houghton, Maine. Vermont, 68. Lowell, Massachusetts, 66. It's colder in Massachusetts and Utica, New York than you are these days. Hunts Patch is 73. Birmingham 75. That's kind of nice and cool. My room upstairs is still 80, but Texas is hot. Brownwood 82. Cleveland 80. Houston 82. We got anybody from Houston? You in here CM3 tonight? Maybe too late for her. No, she's in Houston. Jesse just left, so he's not here from Alamogordo, 80 degrees. Santa Fe, 73. Holbrook, 80. Phoenix, 97. Tucson, 91. 97? Woo! This late hour? It's crazy. Snowflake is 75. Well, shoot, Snowflake was warmer than here by a couple of degrees. It'll probably cool down. It's later at night here than it is up there. What's the nuke news? Oh, you come in later. Both Russia and Ukraine are each blaming each other, saying they're going to attack Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant today. That's the news, and that is scary news. So, you know, I probably should. How long we've been in here? I've probably been here too long already. Keep this kind of short. 48 minutes ago. Okay, we've been kind of rocking through this stuff. Let's try to update this thing. 48 minutes ago. 211 people in the room, guys. So Alberta, 55, 59 at Peace River. High levels, warmer up north. 62. The Hinton is 48. I guess you got some mountains there. Calgary, 55. Slave Lake, 55. Yukon Territory, Dawson City, 59. Whitehorse, 57. Delta Junction is 61 degrees. Fairbanks, 64. That's pretty mild from up there. Galena, named after lead, is 61. Nome is 53. That's at Point Barrow. 50. Nice and warm up there. Look, the wind's coming out of the south. All right, windy has just iced me up with all that stuff. Let's see what it does that lately. It wants me to pay for it. Well, if we get enough super chats, I will. All right, it is going toward winter. It is winter down under. Don't look too bad right now, though. Melbourne's 52. 80 up here close to the equator. I haven't heard anybody say they're from. Oh, Obi's here. Obi is in New Zealand. There we go, Obi. Well, here's New Zealand. Wellington's 48. Christchurch 46. You know how you said Dunedin 44. Auckland 55. That's kind of looking a little wintry there, showing some snow in the mountains here. All right, who else we got in here from elsewhere? So hot and humid in Nashville. I don't doubt it's storm watcher. I'm south of you by 2-hour drive. All righty, let's go look at space weather, and we'll call it a night here. Let's do the system is rigged. Something. Sydney, good to see you from Sydney. All right, guys, I talked about this earlier. This is the video I did post this morning talking about these sunspots. We're at a 21-year high right now for sunspot activity, which means the probability for solar flare is going up. A lot of sunspots. During the modern minimum, you got about less than one sunspot a year. Over a 7-year period, there was only 60 sunspots. Typically, there's 40 to 50,000 sunspots in a 70-year period. Right now, we are having a lot of sunspots. Yeah, here's one I want to show you. Plain. All right, here's a view of the Earth looking from the North Pole. In Alaska, most of it, because it's north of the Arctic Circle, it's still daylight. And I get night up there. Should be like middle of the night for them. Because you see, this is the, if you look at where it's dark, and you bisect it in half, Alaska should be in the middle of the night there. It should be really late. Well, it's not midnight yet, or it shouldn't be, but it's close. Bisect that, yeah, that line almost bisects it. But Alaska has got a lot of daylight. Aurora's a little bit weak, but what you see is it's well up in the day now over in Ukraine in that area. When this darkness gets over there, it's when they tell us they're going to hit the nuclear power plant. All right, for those that hadn't stopped the share, those that's joining late, once again, the Ukrainians are claiming the Russians have mined the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, ordered the people to get out, to be out by the filth, and they're claiming that Russia will detonate the cooling pools, maybe part of the plant. Now, those big containment pylons where the reactor's at, they're built to withstand a jumbo jet hitting them from the outside, but we've already seen them blow up from the inside at Fukushima. But that was some major hydrogen gas buildup inside as a plant went in a meltdown and eventually exploded. So what can happen at Zaporizhzhia? Maybe a major explosive inside might do damage to reactor building, but as you know, I'm more worried about the spent fuel rod pools, because usually you can contain the reactors pretty well. Thank you for sharing my video from this morning, New Days. So we got a lot to ponder right now, because here's the thing. If Zaporizhzhia goes, the radiation's going to spread. The radiation spreads. Like I said, Senator Blumenthal and his wife, Senator Lindsey Graham, said that would be considered an article, evoking Article 5 of the NATO treaty, which would put NATO, and yes, the U.S., directly at war with Russia. We may be that close to war with Russia, two nuclear superpowers in a conflict that could go nuclear. I'm going to talk more about how this conflict might end in a future video. Not tonight, it's getting late, but I want to show you a couple of things here real fast. Ding, 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 ding. Share screen. Ding, ding. For those that don't know, That is what your nuclear cooling fuel rod pools are like. Yeah, 20 foot of water in most of them. I think the ones over in Zaporizhzhia are like double packed, so they don't have the 20 foot of water, which is not good. The water evaporates off of them. They burn on contact with air. There's a fuel pellet that goes inside of the fuel rod, is clad in a zircaloy clad, and it burns on contact with air. How do I know? Because I got the test reports from Sandia National Laboratory showing how they burnt the slab up. Well, don't tell me they won't burn on contact with air when they're hot. So this is kind of how the interior of the nuclear power plants look. Thank you for any idea what time they might do it. I don't know an exact time, but the Russians are claiming that the Ukrainians will launch missiles to attack that plant sometime after dark on the 5th. It's still daylight there. So it could just be a few hours. I don't know, guys. It could be like 12 hours or so from now. Within the definitely shorter than 24-hour period if they're going to do it on the 5th of July. So, here's like the reactor. It's in this big containment building. The fuel rods are brought out with a crane, and then they're set over here and transported to this facility, which has its own cranes. Now, this is just a sheet metal roof. It's not a containment building like this. So that roof, if this stuff catches on fire, it'll just melt right off. And all that radiation would go in the air. But at Zaporizhzhia, these pools are outdoors, apparently. So that makes you feel good. Here it is, Zaporizhzhia. There's the pools. I just showed you a picture of these cooling spigots from the side where somebody was standing there taking a picture of it. Yeah, we don't see it do that, do we? Here's the key thing, the radiation. Everybody's saying, for some reason, this is the chart they're talking from, which is a stupid chart. How does radiation go from here to here without touching anything in the middle? Who's the lame brain that drew this chart? How did they come up with this? How do they come up with this lame brain chart? Can somebody validate this for me, please? Jeff B. Grady, did you know Kim Crawford at Sandia? I've been to Sandia. That don't ring a bell with me, though. It don't ring a bell. I remember some guy named, there was a guy at Sandia that looked exactly, I mean, he was like the spitting image for a guy I worked with at Marshall Space Flight Center. I mean, they both look just exactly alike. One of them did nukes and the other did rocket avionics. So, and now I'm getting confused on their names. What was supposed to happen on the 11th of July? I can't remember, but 11th is supposed to be a game changer. Oh, that's when the, up here in Vilnius, Lithuania, you get the meeting of NATO. The NATO summit starts on 11 July. So that's what a lot of people think, that all this is being staged to play on the Vilnius meeting. Now, here's another thing. This is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, way larger than Chernobyl. Now, look at this. Now, look at the next chart. That's the radiation Chernobyl left. So how does this plant with a reactor, maybe two reactors, store that much radioactivity? And this one's only going to make a little bit, comparatively speaking. Of course, according to Senator Blumenthal and his wife, Lindsey Graham, that evokes Article 5. Well, you know what? Feet, hands, head. Looks like a baby, don't it? It's a fetus. Oh my God. Star child. Yeah, these two. Richard Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham. They're the two that was talking us nonsense about it being an Article 5 commitment. Yeah, you're right. X-ray. So here's something you might do. Go to the Freedom Restoration Foundation, go to the Action Center page, scroll down, call for Senate, tell your senator not to go along with these knuckleheads. All right, stop share again. Hey, hello. Guys, I'm getting really sleepy. It's almost 2:30. I didn't get sleep last couple of nights. I've been spanking my keyboard trying to get this deadline. I met it, but it was crazy. I thought I didn't. I thought I lost my work. Woo! I was not a happy camper. What would be the benefit is I blowing this joker? See, that's the really good question. When do you can't? They have not become NATO. They're trying to get in NATO. That's what a lot of people are concerned about this villainous meeting, because NATO either extending their umbrella over Ukraine or setting up a process where Ukraine can come into NATO. Definitely, that's the whole reason Russia went into the war, was to stop that from happening. So Russia's going to go ballistic over that. Jiffy store. We don't need to. Jiffy store in here. All right, mods. If anybody's doing any nasty stuff, take them out. It's a family channel. Let's keep it family friendly. So, Jeff thinks that's funny. His wife. I used to call him Senator McCain's wife, because Lindsey Graham followed Senator McCain around everywhere like a puppy dog. So that's what I called Graham at first, was McCain's wife. Anyway, all right, Elton, thanks for joining us. 242 in the room. Wow. Got a bunch of night owls on my channel. Swivel heads. Woo, 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 like a bunch of night owls. Alrighty. But do keep your eyes wide open. A good thing about an owl is it can see in the dark. That's a valuable thing to have. Night vision. Okay, guys. Thank you for sharing that new days. Let's call it a night. Melt, I meant. Melt. Yeah, guys, we've been on here for 61 minutes. Yeah, guys, I am, hey, cowgirl. Hope I answered y'all's questions. You can watch this video and rewind. Catch the first part if you missed it. 5:37 p.m. in Australia. It's 2:38 in the morning here. General Sorrow. General Springler. Alabama Crusader. Constitutional Crusader. Good to see you, bud. We're picking up. Okay, I need some more thumbs up, guys. Yeah. We got more people in the room. We got thumbs up. I might have sleep today. I've been spanking the keyboard hard, trying to get that report out. So, yeah, I got a few more things to do. I'm going to swill down a cup of coffee, spank the keyboard a little bit more, and maybe I'll hit the hay. Well, the early bird just woke up. Well, you know what you say? The early worm gets ate by the bird. Don't be the early worm. God's land down under. Greg, could you have a look at Glenn Windsor and what he says about plans and dangers? Send me a link. Glenn Windsor. Oh, guys. So, Glenn Windsor, I don't know him. Is he a YouTuber? Well, right in the communist state of Victoria. Well, you know, we got to turn this stuff around, guys. Sweet dreaming. There you go. Just woke up and saw his own. We're about to go off. You can catch it on a rewind. Thank you, New Days. Thank you for all you do. A couple of good super chats tonight. All right, guys. I'm running out of gas, and I still got a couple of things to do. So I want to say thank you, super chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, New Days. She goes out of her way posting links and things. So appreciate that. Thank all of you for being here, especially those who give me a thumbs up. So come on, guys. If you don't think I deserve a thumbs up, tell me why. We do this because algorithms really need the help. My channel's really been stepped on. Anyway. Yes, sir. So with that, I'm going to say once again, thank you for watching.